At just 23 years old, American singer-songwriter, record producer, and actor Finneas O'Connell has already had an impressive career.
Never hold me like you do.
He's got 5 Grammy Awards under his belt for his work on his chart-topping younger sister Billie Eilish's debut album, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go?
They call us lucky.
Known for writing and producing music for various artists, he also has a successful solo career, writing songs that typically rack up millions of views. Last year, he released a critically acclaimed EP called Blood Harmony. Finneas, thank you so much for joining us virtually from Los Angeles. Now, before we talk about your EP and your latest single release, these certainly are very unusual times that we're living in. How has the ongoing coronavirus how has this crisis affected your musical project?
That's a really good question. Thanks for having me today, first of all. Obviously on a kind of a just sort of scheduling, logistical level, it's affected our lives quite a bit. We were supposed to spend the predominant amount of this year on tour. We were doing like a world tour. We were going to go all across the US and all across Europe and through Asia and South America. We were really excited about it. And obviously, that's not safe to do right now. So we're happy to wait until it is. Mm-hmm. I think I talk about it a lot with my friends. Like, I've written a lot of songs during this, and I think not only have I had the time to write a lot, but I've also I don't imagine that they would be the songs that they are if there were no shutdown. So I think it's hard to say. I mean, to anyone who doesn't like the music that I make during all of this, then my excuse can be well, you would have liked what I made if there were no pandemic. And to anyone who likes it, I'm well, it's kind of because we're all living through the same thing.
Now, last October, you released your first solo EP. It's called Blood Harmony. What does that title refer to?
Well, Blood Harmony is a term that I heard from Phil Taggart in the UK. He works for BBC Radio 1. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about what it sounds like when siblings sing together. And he was like, oh, it's that blood harmony. And Billie is not actually a part of this EP. She does not sing on it. But I thought it was a really interesting title, and I thought it sort of described my role in her music pretty well, because I'm obviously her kind of right-hand collaborator. And I also thought just the image of those two words, I thought whatever Blood Harmony made anyone think was an interesting image.
You just released a new single. It's called What They'll Say About Us, a searching piano ballad. And you said that you wrote the track in reaction to the Black Lives Matters protests, as well as the coronavirus-related death of a Broadway actor named Nick Cordero. What is it about those two current events that inspired you to write this song?
Well, I think this song really was a result of both of those things happening at the same time. It was a period of June where I was going to protests every day with my girlfriend and my sister. And then I would come home each night and check on Amanda Klut's Instagram. Amanda is the wife of Nick Cordero, who ended up dying over the summer from complications related to COVID. And I think it was those two things at the same time. There's something kind of uplifting and positive to me about protesting, because you are surrounded by so many people who feel the same way that you do and want change as badly as you do. And then obviously, that doesn't change the fact that so many people are still going through what is the reason that we're all sitting at home, which is this super deadly virus. So I think it was those two things happening at once, and kind of trying to be more optimistic than pessimistic, and be you know what, we're all kind of sitting around during this. We really do have the time to make the world a little bit better of a place.
And I lost my mind, and nobody believes me. Say I know that he don't need me, 'cause he made a little too much money to be 20 and sad. And I'll be fine without him, but all I do is write about him. How the hell did I lose a friend I never had?
Now, the US presidential election is just around the corner, and the social climate in the United States is very charged, to say the least. You've been very outspoken politically, and in particular against President Donald Trump. In fact, your Twitter bio simply reads, "Don't reelect him," which is a pretty clear message. Do you think it's important for artists to be outspoken about politics?
The reason I wanted to clarify that I think it's important that people talk about politics is like I'm just a citizen, right? Like
Mhm.
the fact that I make art for a living is just a privilege that I am afforded, but at the end of the day, I'm just an American citizen. So I think it's important for every American citizen to educate themselves and have, their own opinion about things. And I've been joking with friends lately that I actually don't really, I'm not tremendously interested in like politics. I'm interested in human rights issues. Like if you asked me like gubernatorial decisions, like what I think the speed limit should be in certain neighborhoods, what I think a parking ticket fee should be,
Uh-huh.
how many what capacity every restaurant should be. Like these are kind of like government chosen things. Like that there are people that have more passion for that than I do. That's why I'm a musician and not, a mayor's assistant. But I think human rights are really important. I think trans rights and LGBTQ plus rights are important. I think racial injustice is very real and it's very systemic in America, and those things are really important to me, and they'll be important to me no matter who the president is. If
Mhm.
we manage to get Trump unelected, which I'm trying to do everything I can to be part of the movement that does that. I'll be passionate about those issues under a Biden presidency. I'll be passionate about those issues under every presidency of the rest of my life. So
Now, coming back to your music, you do just about everything. You sing, you write music, you produce music as well. Is it important for you to be involved at every step of the process?
for my own project as like a solo artist, that is the way that I choose to make music, and it is the way that makes me the happiest with my music. I think for other artists, I'm involved in very different capacities depending on the artists.
Mhm. And it seems like there's not much that you can't do, and you seem like it seems that you're pretty much self-taught. Do you have any tips for people who are, inspired by you, trying to learn how
Right.
to make music in their room?
I would say that like there's just a natural period where you're really bad at it for a long time, and that's just part of the game, I guess. Like I wish it wasn't, but it just is. Like you're not going to be good at it the whole time. And
So you gotta keep doing it.
yeah, you just got to keep doing it. And I think the older you get, the more you're not used to starting a new thing that you're not good at, right? We've all been reading and writing for a long time. We've all been, you know, um, doing mathematics for a long time. We've known world history for a long time. The older you get, the more you're like, I don't like that. I'm uncomfortable that I'm not good at this yet. So like right now, I'm like trying to teach myself how to surf, and I'm like,
Amazing.
I'm terrible at it. Like I'm really bad at it. And I'm just like, you know what? Like it's okay. Like someday, like you're gonna be not bad at this.
Song that you like, you can bet I'll know every line. I'm the boy that your boy hoped that you would avoid. Don't waste your eyes on jealous guys. Fuck that noise. I know better than to call you mine.
You've experienced a sudden burst of success. You're only in your early 20s, and just last year, you scored the Grammy Award for Producer of the Year, the youngest person to ever win that award. How do you make sure it doesn't go to your head?
This sounds so weird, but I think that specific award, the reason that that's not going to go to my head is like I feel that I won it for that album. I feel that I produced Billie's album and I won the award for that record, and I think that that doesn't like winning that award doesn't mean that I think I'm like the producer of every year, you know?
Mhm.
I think like every year I have to make music that lives up to the standards that I set for myself. And also I think we didn't make that album thinking we were going to win any Grammys, and we certainly didn't make that album trying to win any Grammys. And so mainly I just have a feeling of like, wow, that's a crazy accident, and now we can just get back to making music the same way we've always done, which is like making the music that we love making.
Hmm. And so you are currently working on your solo album, and
Yep.
you're working with your sister as well
Mhm.
on her second album. When can fans expect those albums to come out?
I don't really know. We're working on new songs every day. I'm working on like a lot of new material for myself and a lot of new material for Billy. And whenever it's done, we don't like to sit on treasure. We like to
Uh-huh.
give it out to people. So, um, yeah, I don't think we'll keep people waiting, but we're not done yet. We're just working.
Yeah. So are you going to wait until you can tour, or would you even just
That would
release?
be awesome. I mean, I can't wait to tour again. So it would be pretty sad to put out a whole album and then sort of be like, see you guys in a year, maybe. So I really hope that we can tour again when the album comes out.
Well, I know I can't wait to go to a live
Me
concert,
neither.
and
Yeah.
I hope that next time you come to Paris, we'll be able to have you in the studio at France 24. But it's
Yeah.
been such a pleasure talking to you virtually,
Awesome.
Finneas. Thanks so much for being with us today.
I will absolutely take you up on that offer. I'll be in the studio as soon as we're in Paris next time.
We've got the time.